A very good morning to all my subscribers and to all literature lovers and also to all travel enthusiasts. So today is 23rd April 2020 and it's a very bright morning here in New Delhi in India, and I've decided to narrate some excerpts from a story which I wrote a couple of days back. It is the story of Orcha, a place which is an upcoming tourist destination in India, and the good news is that a case was presented by the Archaeological Survey of India before the United Nations in 2019, and Orcha has now been included in UNESCO's tentative list of heritage sites. So that's a big breakthrough for all of us here who are enthusiasts as far as microtourism is concerned. And I visited this place twice and I've written a research paper for everyone to read, which is available for all travel buffs to read on grfarmsandresorts.wordpress.com under a link titled Places of Tourist Importance. So there you'll find a link saying Orcha, and it's quite an interesting read because it's a first person account of my visit to this place twice, and I've used primary sources of research for this. I've spoken to the locals there, to the tourist guides, to wise men in the fort complex, and also to the Brahmins in the Rajaram temple. And the research paper is entirely based on my personal experience. So the story which I have written here begins with a short note. It goes like this. History isn't read merely in textbooks and architecture isn't admired in coffee table books. One must make the effort to step out of the confines of the four walls and visit these significant landmarks in our journey as a human race in order to get a first-person account and experience of these vestiges from our past. Preserving these, of course, is a matter to be looked into by those of a higher intellect order. Now here goes the story. We drove to Orcha on 27th August 2015, and I took my brother around Orcha town since it was his first time there. Fortunately for me, he indulges my fascination for forts, palaces, temples, and other relics of cultural significance. It was a treat to drive in the by-lanes of the city whose history I now know by heart. The Orcha fort, 14 cenotaphs, Chaturbhuj temple, Lakshmi temple, and Rajaram temple, we saw it all. This time round, I even captured a picture inside the Rajaram temple at great personal peril. Madam, your camera can be confiscated, some devotees informed me. Well, I meant no harm. All I wanted was an imprint of the divine for my readers here. I stepped out earlier than my fellow travelers since the ladies' queue in this country is usually shorter than that of the men. While I was waiting for them, the genial milk cake vendor outside the temple treated me to some freshly made prasad. For the uninitiated, prasad is a devotional offering made to God, usually food which is later shared among devotees. In fact, I noticed that milk cake is the most ubiquitous prasad item in this temple town. So, moving further, I captured some pictures of the Rajaram temple from outside while waiting for my fellow travelers to emerge from within. Now, legend has it that this temple was earlier the queen's palace, and so devoted she was to Lord Ram that he appeared at the banks of the Orcha river in the form of an infant, and later when his idol was placed in her palace, it was so heavy that none could move it, so the palace was converted into the Rajaram temple by the king. Interesting, isn't it? Now, the Pandit in the temple told me that the presiding deity here is Lord Ram, who is worshipped as a king and not as an avatar of Vishnu. A guard of honor is held every day with police personnel designated as guards at the temple. It is believed that Lord Ram rules Ayodhya during the day and travels to Orcha at night. It will be even more interesting to mention that he even said that even when state dignitaries visit, no form of special obeisance is made to them, since Lord Ram presides over Orcha, which was the erstwhile capital of an eponymous 15-gun salute princely state. On a personal note, I would like to add here a brief about the Lakshmi Narayan temple. So, a short walk on a flagstone path from behind the Rajaram temple leads to the Lakshmi Narayan temple, which is my favorite among all the historical and spiritual relics in this temple town. Unpretentious on the outside, the interiors of this temple are akin to an art gallery, housing intricate murals on a variety of spiritual and secular subjects. And of course, a visit to Orcha is incomplete without the sound and light show in the evening. I've added some pictures here in my ebook of Orcha by day and also by night light, and this should give a gist of what the place is actually like. And I would like to invite everyone to visit this place, share your experiences with me at pksofficial2020@gmail.com, and also in case you wish to consult me before going there, I'll be very happy to reply to your queries since I'm quite an expert on this particular place. I've read up the entire history of the Bundela dynasty, which is responsible for setting up the Orcha place, and other than that, I'll also be very happy to entertain any kind of conversation regarding architectural, archaeological, and spiritual places in India and also outside India, which anybody wishes to discuss with me. So, on that note, I would like to wish everyone a very good morning and have a wonderful day ahead. And let's connect on Instagram.